In a world where trust is the foundation of every relationship, whether personal or professional, what happens when that trust is shattered? What do you do when the people you thought you could rely on turn out to be nothing more than imposters, weaving a web of deception? It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? Imagine being betrayed by someone you called a friend, a colleague, or even a partner. How do you protect yourself when those closest to you are wearing masks, pretending to be something they're not? Well, if you've ever been caught in the web of manipulation, deceit, or betrayal, then you're not alone. History's greatest thinkers, like the infamous Niccolò Machiavelli, had a lot to say about how to navigate the treacherous waters of dealing with fake and disloyal people. Machiavelli, often regarded as the master of power, understood human nature in its rawest form. In fact, his work, The Prince, holds lessons that resonate even today, revealing harsh truths about how to protect yourself from the disloyal and how to turn the game of power to your advantage. But what does Machiavelli truly advise when faced with disloyalty? Should you respond with force, with subtlety, or something far more calculated? The real question is, how do you keep your integrity intact while handling those who are only loyal to themselves? How do you distinguish between genuine allies and people who will turn on you at the slightest opportunity? These questions are as relevant now as they were in the courts of Renaissance Italy. Machiavelli's ideas on loyalty and betrayal challenge everything we believe about fairness and trust. He believes that in the world of power, loyalty is often a commodity, one that can easily be bought or sold, depending on the needs of the moment. So, how does one navigate this world where disloyalty is not just a possibility, but a certainty? What steps can you take to ensure that you're not caught off guard? Is there a way to use betrayal to your advantage, much like Machiavelli would suggest? Today, we'll take a deep dive into Machiavelli's timeless wisdom and explore how his teachings can help us deal with the fake, the disloyal, and the manipulative. We'll uncover the dark truths he reveals about human nature and perhaps discover a strategy or two that could change the way we handle disloyalty in our own lives. But there's a catch. While Machiavelli's advice is certainly useful, it comes with a price. His methods can be ruthless, calculated, and unforgiving. Are you ready to play the game of power, or will you choose a different path? The stakes are high, and the road ahead is treacherous. The question is, how far are you willing to go to protect yourself? Stick with us to find out, because the best part is yet to come. Machiavelli's world was one of intrigue, power struggles, and constant scheming. The courts of Renaissance Italy, where Machiavelli observed the rise and fall of princes and rulers, were filled with people who wore loyalty as a mask, only to shed it when it no longer served their interests. In this world, alliances were fragile, and loyalty was a fleeting thing. To survive, one had to become as shrewd and calculating as those around them. But how do you survive when betrayal is the norm? How do you hold on to your power, your sanity, when the very people you trust are plotting against you in the shadows? This is the dilemma that Machiavelli addresses in his writings. He presents a harsh reality. In the game of power, loyalty is rarely earned. It is often merely a tool to be used, discarded, or exploited. The truth is, disloyalty is not an anomaly in Machiavelli's view. It's part of the very fabric of political life. People will always act in their own self-interest, and loyalty is just a temporary agreement that can be broken when the tides change. So, what does this mean for you, the person navigating a world of fake friends and backstabbers? Machiavelli warns that you cannot afford to be naive. You must learn to see through the facades people wear and understand their true motivations. In a world full of betrayal, the most dangerous people are those who pretend to be loyal, only to turn against you when the right opportunity arises. Imagine having someone you trust deeply, someone who stands by your side, only to find out that their loyalty was conditional all along. What do you do then? How do you protect yourself from those who smile in your face but plot behind your back? The answer, according to Machiavelli, lies in your ability to control your own actions and reactions. You must understand the game being played and learn to use deception and manipulation to your advantage. He teaches that the ruler or individual who is most adept at recognizing betrayal early and responding accordingly will hold the upper hand. This doesn't mean being ruthless without reason, but rather understanding that in a world filled with fake promises, sometimes a calculated move is the only way to ensure your survival. But the question remains, can we truly accept this cold and calculated approach to life? Or is there a better way to deal with disloyalty? Is Machiavelli's method the only way forward, or does it lead to a life of suspicion, loneliness, and endless power struggles? The deeper you dig into his philosophy, the more unsettling it becomes, forcing you to question everything you thought you knew about trust, loyalty, and human nature. And still, we haven't uncovered the full picture. What happens when you take Machiavelli's advice too far? What's the cost of being too strategic, too guarded? Stick with us, and we'll continue to unravel this puzzle. The truth may not be what you expect. As we delve deeper into Machiavelli's world, we begin to realize that the struggle for power is not just external, it's internal as well. The conflict isn't only about defending yourself from the disloyalty of others, it's about grappling with the dark parts of your own nature. Machiavelli's teachings force us to ask ourselves, how far are we willing to go to protect ourselves, and at what cost? Imagine being in a position where every move you make is a calculated risk. You can no longer trust the people around you, but you can't afford to show weakness. Every glance, every word could be an opening for betrayal. The ones closest to you, the ones you thought were your allies, may be planning your downfall while smiling at you. You begin to question everything. Are the ones you've trusted really on your side, or are they simply waiting for the right moment to turn on you? It's a feeling many of us can relate to. We've all experienced moments of doubt when we've wondered if someone was being sincere or if their kindness was a cover for something darker. But what happens when that doubt grows into certainty? When you start seeing the signs, subtle shifts in behavior, unexplained tension, and the realization that your inner circle might be plotting behind your back. At the heart of this conflict lies the fear of losing control. Machiavelli tells us that to hold power, you must always be 2 steps ahead of your enemies. But this constant vigilance takes its toll. As the stakes get higher, so does the pressure. With each move, you must decide, do you trust the people around you, or do you prepare for the inevitable betrayal? This is where the true tension begins. How do you protect yourself from people who are already planning to turn on you? And if you play the game too well, could you end up losing your humanity in the process? The answers aren't easy, and the deeper you go, the more unsettling the journey becomes. Stay with us, because the hardest decisions are yet to come. As the tension grows, so does the unease. Every day feels like walking a tightrope. One wrong move and everything could come crashing down. The faces around you no longer seem familiar. People you once trusted, who once stood by you, now seem distant, like strangers wearing a mask of loyalty. It's as if every word they speak, every smile they offer, is part of a performance, a show designed to keep you complacent while they bide their time. The question gnaws at you, who can you really trust? The moments of doubt become more frequent. You start noticing things that didn't stand out before. The casual way someone avoids eye contact, the subtle shifts in tone when a particular subject comes up. Is it paranoia, or is something more sinister afoot? The feeling that you're being watched, studied, tested, creeps into your every interaction. You can't escape it. You're being drawn deeper into a game you didn't ask to play, but you can't get out. There's no way back now. The game of power is at a tipping point. The very people who helped you rise to the top are now circling, waiting for a crack to appear. They've learned your weaknesses, studied your fears, and are ready to exploit them. But you're not blind. You've been paying attention, reading between the lines, learning the rules of Machiavelli's world. Every conversation is a chess match, and you know that the next move could be your last. You're one misstep away from losing everything, or perhaps from becoming the very thing you fear most. The stakes are higher than ever. If you make the wrong choice, the consequences will be irreversible. Trusting the wrong person or making a rash move could lead to your downfall. Yet standing still feels just as dangerous. You can feel it, the walls closing in, the noose tightening. You need to act, but the question is, what move will you make? And is it already too late? Just when you think you have it all figured out, the ground beneath you begins to shift. The very people you thought you could manipulate, the ones you believed were your pawns in this deadly game, suddenly turn the tables. It's a twist you didn't see coming, a betrayal from the last person you ever expected. The realization hits you like a cold slap. The very person you've been trusting, the one who seemed so loyal, has been playing you all along. This is where the game changes. The rules you thought you understood, they were never the same for them. The loyalty you've been banking on was never real. It was a carefully constructed illusion, and now the truth is unraveling faster than you can keep up. Your so-called ally has been working behind the scenes, feeding information to your enemies, making deals with people you swore you could trust. The worst part? They've been doing it all right under your nose. The deeper you dig, the more you realize how much control they've had over your life and how easily they've managed to manipulate your every move. In this world, loyalty is always a fleeting thing, but this is beyond betrayal. This is personal. The person who you thought shared your ambitions, who you once considered a friend, has become your greatest threat. Now, everything you've worked for is on the line. Your position, your reputation, even your safety, everything is at risk. The more you confront them, the more you see how carefully they've been orchestrating their moves, setting you up for a fall from the start. You begin to question everything about your own judgment. Was this betrayal inevitable? Were the signs always there, but you were too blinded by your own ambitions to see them? The tension is suffocating now. You feel trapped in a web of deceit with no clear way out. Every path forward seems like a dead end, every choice leading to another sacrifice. You could strike back, but would it be enough? Or would it only accelerate your downfall? The weight of the decisions ahead presses down on you. Every move feels more dangerous than the last. There's no turning back now. What you do next could change everything, and you know that you might not survive the consequences. But just as you begin to make your plan, you receive a cryptic message, an anonymous warning. Someone else knows what's going on, and they're telling you to be careful, that the web of betrayal is bigger than you realize. The question now is, who can you trust when even your closest allies are enemies in disguise? The stakes have just been raised to a whole new level. The game is no longer just about survival. It's about redemption and the price of loyalty. The moment of reckoning has arrived. The mask has been ripped off and the truth is laid bare. Your former ally, the one you thought you could trust, stands before you, no longer hiding behind false promises or empty words. There's no denying it now. They've betrayed you in ways you couldn't have imagined. Every strategy you had in place, every plan, every step you took to protect yourself, it all led to this moment. You are standing at the precipice and everything you've worked for is crumbling beneath your feet. But this isn't the end. You've been backed into a corner, but you've learned enough to know that you don't have to play by their rules anymore. You realize now that survival isn't about outsmarting others. It's about taking control of your own actions, With each move, each decision, you've grown stronger, more calculated, less naive. The world around you is still spinning with lies and deceit, but now you understand how to bend the game to your will. With a deep breath, you confront your betrayer, your heart pounding in your chest. It's time to settle the score. You expose everything, the lies, the manipulations, the secret deals they've made behind your back. You reveal it all, piece by piece, like a dam breaking free. Their expression falters, the veneer of control slipping away as their carefully constructed world begins to collapse. In that moment, you hold the power, and for a brief moment, it feels like victory is yours. But then, the unexpected happens. Just as you believe the final blow has been struck, a second message arrives. This one from someone you never thought you'd hear from again. The anonymous voice you'd been receiving cryptic warnings from all along. They've been watching everything, and now they reveal the final twist. The betrayal was never just about your former ally. It was always about you. The person you've been fighting against wasn't acting alone. They were merely a pawn, just like you. The true mastermind behind the entire web of deceit has been one of the very people you trusted most. Someone who has been manipulating both of you from the shadows. The revelation hits hard, a sickening wave of realization. The battle you fought, the choices you've made, have all been part of a much larger game, one you've only just begun to understand. Now the stakes are even higher than before. Trust is a fragile thing, and in this world, you realize that survival isn't guaranteed for anyone. The final twist leaves you standing on the edge once again, uncertain of who to trust or where to turn next. The game isn't over. It's just begun. The weight of the revelation settles heavily on your shoulders, the realization that you were never the true player in this game. It was always bigger than you. The shock of discovering the true mastermind behind the manipulation sends your mind into overdrive. It's a bitter pill to swallow. You've been outplayed not once, but twice. But even in this moment of defeat, something inside you shifts. You begin to understand the game on a deeper level. In the face of betrayal, you realize that power isn't just about control over others. It's about control over yourself. It's about knowing your worth, understanding the forces at play, and choosing how to respond, not just react. The fight you've been in isn't just external. It's a battle for your own integrity, your self-respect, and your ability to rise from the ashes of betrayal. You've learned that, while loyalty can be fleeting, your own strength and determination don't have to be. With a calm resolve, you confront the true orchestrator of it all. It's not about vengeance anymore, it's about closing the chapter. You've seen through the web of lies, understood the power of manipulation, and now you can choose to walk away or, if you wish, strike back. But you realize something even more powerful. The best revenge is to rise above, to move forward with the lessons learned and the clarity gained from this harrowing experience. The true victory lies not in defeating them, but in defeating your own doubts and fears. As the story draws to a close, the pieces of the puzzle start to come together. You've shed the illusion of false loyalties, and in doing so, you've gained something far more valuable: freedom. Freedom from the constraints of trust that aren't earned. Freedom from the need to play someone else's game. You've taken back control, not by conquering others, but by conquering yourself. In the end, you realize that the game of power is about mastering your own choices, knowing when to fight and when to let go. As you walk away from the chaos, the lessons of Machiavelli echo in your mind. Trust wisely, control your actions, and never lose sight of who you are. The world will always try to manipulate you, but the true strength lies in choosing how you respond. And with that understanding, you move forward, stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever comes next. The game, for you, is no longer just about survival. It's about mastering the art of living on your own terms.